All right, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out channel. This is a spoiler review of Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness, right? Spoiler review. If you have not seen the movie, please don't watch this video. Go watch the non-spoiler review or just come back to this after you've seen it. So warning, spoiler review of Multiverse of Madness. I got Mark here. We've both seen it. We wait to kind of catch up and geek out about it. Mark, how you doing, bro? First of all, you doing all good, yeah?
Good, bro. Yeah, good. Good to see you.
Awesome. Yeah, you too, bro. I'm so glad. Like I was saying to you earlier, that my brothers haven't seen it, and we got a chance to see it a bit early, a day before it comes out in the UK and whatnot. So you're the only one I can speak to. So I appreciate your time. I know it's late at night and whatnot, but like I wanted to geek out with someone, so I appreciate you being on, man.
Yeah, but anytime.
Cool, man. So let's get into this, man. I mean, we both watched Doctor Strange 2. What was your thoughts? What was your initial thoughts?
Man, it was so fast. I was just like, you get in the cinema and like everything's going bang, 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 bang. And it's like, oh, post-credit scene. It's like, what?
It did, right? Because it just started straight away. Again, it started with Strange and America Chavez. So it was Supreme Strange and America Chavez going through that dimension or whatnot, fighting that alien.
Yeah.
Like straight away. Like, yeah. And there was no pullbacks. I mean, he died straight away, right? That Supreme Strange. Which was interesting, and also kind of like he was gonna sacrifice her and take her power, which that Strange thought was the only way to kind of defeat this. But it goes to show like that they didn't waste no time. I mean, because I think the good thing about these Marvel movies, right, we got so far, there's not much character building that needs to be done right now. Like they do that over time. Everything's long term, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so this got straight into it. I think my initial things I took away from it, because this was a horror movie, right? I mean, they did make it a horror movie, and Sam Raimi done a great job with the horror and stuff. And the other big takeaway I took was Scarlet Witch was the big bad. I thought she was good. I thought a different variant of hers might be like the villain, but our Scarlet Witch from our Earth, she's the big bad in this movie. And I'm like, holy shit, it's her. Like, I can't believe she was the big bad and the villain in the movie, and she was scary, man. Like some of the scenes with her, especially when when they were fighting her in where is it where all the what you call it, the ancient ones, Kamatage, that's it. When they were fighting her and then they trapped her in that mirror sort of thing, and then she came out the reflections. She looked like Remember that movie, The Ring, like when that thing came out the TV. It looked like that, right? I mean, freaking hell, she was scary.
Yeah. It was, and then it was just like her voice and her demeanor. She was like, "I'm doing this, either get out of my way or I'm gonna do something to you." Like
that's it, right? I mean, from the beginning, there was no Wanda turning into Scarlet Witch. It was the Scarlet Witch, and I think from WandaVision to now, she obviously got corrupted by the Dark Book,
the Darkhold,
the Darkhold, right? She was corrupted that whole time, so that just kind of set it all up. That this corruption just took her over from that time period. No one checked up on her until now, and she's already corrupted, and she's so obviously like she's done with the grieving of losing her family, but I think that grievance is turned into like an obsession of like, I want my kids back at any means necessary. And she kept trying to reassure herself that I'm not evil, I'll never hurt anyone, but she was hurting everyone except her at the end, right, when she realized that she's actually hurting her kids doing this, and that's when she realized that she was wrong. But there was no setup for Scarlet Witch, like the bad guy. She was just from the beginning like, I want my kids, and that's it.
Because that character development, that movement from the end of Avengers to through WandaVision, that set it up perfectly, because you could actually see how she progressed from, oh my god, Vision died, and it's like she's gone psychotic, like she's fallen over the edge.
Right, it's trauma, right? It's all this trauma that she's gone through, and she was a kid. Like I remember Kat referencing her as a kid, so she's kind of gone through so much trauma, losing her parents, losing her brother, Vision, her kids. And it's just turned her into the evil Scarlet Witch and whatnot, which was crazy. I just didn't. That was the first shocker for me. I was like, I didn't expect her to be the villain. I just thought a variant of her would be the villain. But man, that got me straight away.
Because when she mentioned America's name and Doctor Strange hadn't said it, I was like, what? I was like, what? Hey, hang on, what
That's
happened
right.
there?
Yeah,
And,
I didn't think that she. I just thought that she knew, but not like not like chasing her. Like to find out that she was sending the monsters and whatnot to chase her
yeah,
was interesting.
yeah. And then she had all that. I don't know where she was staying, but all the environment where she had it, like all the apple trees and everything, that was actually she just changed that reality, and it was actually all that dark hold magic around her.
Yeah, exactly. She was in it. She was in it. And Strange kind of sensed it, right? But he couldn't, he sensed that something, it was all like made up and whatnot, but obviously she kept that reality, changed that reality and whatnot. And she said it herself, she can change reality, but she's not good at lying, right? So she wasn't able to lie. But even with Strange, it started off with him at being at the wedding, right? And it started off with him lying to Christine, saying that he was happy. Because remember, she was asking him, "Are you happy?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm happy," which obviously was a lie, because by the end of the movie, you find out that he wasn't happy because he wasn't with Christine. But I thought that was interesting as well, because he, like, even though saving the world and all that sort of shit, he's still not in contempt with, he's not happy basically, right? And it's being a superhero doesn't make you happy. Like, you still love and all the usual human elements as a human being is what makes you happy, right?
Yeah. I was like, damn, bro, I feel you, man. It was like nothing worked out for him in any universe. It was like,
right. Yeah, it's true, right? But in this one, did you notice, or is it just me? He had his beard like Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark in I can't remember which Avengers movie it was, but it was one of them. Like, because Strangers always just had the goatee, right? And then Tony Stark had the goatee with the little lion thing up there. And he had that. I mean, I don't know if it's just my theories, but I'm like, I wonder if he's done that out of respect for Tony. I mean, I guess in my head, that's what I'm going to pull it as. He's done that little beard as a respect for Tony Stark, just because Tony sacrificed his life, even though he told him it's the only way. But I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. But also, like, when he was at the wedding as well, the other doctor was kind of throwing it in his face about, like, are you sure that was the only way? Because 5 years is still a sacrifice from so many people, right? In 5 years, so much. And that was something that they didn't express until now, that it was his decision, right? He said that's the only way that it can happen and whatnot. So that was thrown in his face a few times about making the decision of letting Thanos snap away everyone. And even Scarlet Witch threw it in his face, saying that I had to blow a hole in my lover's head, Vision's head, and you still gave the stone away for no reason. So it was kind of thrown in his face that, that you made that choice for the universe, but and we have to believe you, basically. And I think that's something that he's living with still.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing, right? Because to me, it was like, he's made a lot of sacrifices. And the thing was, like, he's lost his woman. He's got these people telling him, is that the only way that we could have gotten out of this? And the thing was, it was like, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. So it's like, he's just stuck in the middle, trying to do his best, and like, he's just getting smashed. Like,
it's like that superhero. It's always that thing, right? Overcoming adversity and whatnot. Whatever he does, he has to, whatever sacrifices he makes, it's never going to really work out for him. It's kind of like the end of Spider-Man, right? I mean, this phase has always kind of been like that. I mean, Moon Knight, Spider-Man, like, they're all making sacrifices, which at the end just dooms them, basically, and kind of keeps them like lonely and whatnot. But this movie, like, it was definitely a Doctor Strange movie, even though we got new characters like American Chavez and whatnot. Like, they didn't really go deep into a story, and that's because Marvel played the long game, right? So they'll talk about her another time, right? But they did focus on Strange, which I thought was good, because there were so many theories and rumors and whatnot about this movie, but really that would have taken everything away from Strange. Like, we're gonna spoil the shit out of it, but all these rumors about freaking Tom Cruise being a different variant of Iron Man, all these different, none of that happened, man. None of that happened. And I kind of walked out the cinema like, that film was awesome, but am I disappointed that none of that shit happened? But really, like, that was our own expectations. But I feel like in Spider-Man, it worked because you had different variants and whatnot, but it was still all about Spider-Man. Whereas this, if you had all these other different mutants and superheroes, you'll take it away from Strange. So I did like the fact that they focused on Strange, but I think a little bit of me was disappointed that I didn't see all these other variants of other people and stuff.
Well, that was I thought it would have been I thought that the scenes with the Illuminati, I thought that was like just short and quick. I would have thought, they might have gone on a bit longer about it because they might have introduced the mutants later, or something. But I was just like, bang! Like she came in, like wiped the floor.
Bro, that's okay. I tell you something. That's my biggest criticism, because that was the oh shit moment of this movie, right? The Illuminati, which we obviously in the trailer they spoil freaking Professor X, right? And then there was a TV spot that came out last week and it spoiled Captain Carter, right? So I was a bit annoyed that I saw that. I tried to avoid it. I was a bit annoyed that I saw that. But then you had Black Bolt, which was awesome. And it was still played by the guy, what's his name? Anson Mount, who played it before in that basic show that they had for the Inhumans. But he came back. And then you had Mr. Fantastic, which was the biggest chair in the cinema I came, like where we were there. That was the one that everyone kind of wooed for. And that was played like, but John, what's his name? John Krasinski. And there was loads of rumors about him playing it, and it was awesome. That was awesome. And then we had Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel. Now that was awesome, and that was an oh shit moment. But my biggest takeaway was, or my biggest critic is like, if that was your oh shit moment, why did you put that in the trailer? You shouldn't even put Professor X or the Illuminati in there. That should have been the biggest secret. So I was a bit pissed off with that. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, but why did you spoil that if this was your only oh shit moment of like the best oh shit moment of the movie, So that was my biggest thing. But anyway, what did you think of the Illuminati? I mean, we got them, which was awesome. Like, what did you think of them?
I mean, I thought, well, the thing is, I was thinking that they were going to somehow, I thought they weren't going to get smashed in the movie, but then like you had Mr. Fantastic, he was done. Captain Carter, she's awesome. Like I love her. Like like, did you watch but in What If? She was really good there. I just thought it would have opened up to other universes. I thought there was going to be a way in for the mutants and the Fantastic Four. But to me now, it's like, well, how are they going to do this later? They're just going to do like a big multiverse thing and just do like full comic book and just do a different version for all these different movies. Because it's like, if they packed it all into the one universe now, is it just too much for like the one universe? So they're going to have like a different Earth or something.
I mean, I mean, look, like as you said, right? They get killed like that. I mean, they come in, it's awesome. Even Professor X was in his yellow hover chair, which was awesome. Everything comic book accurate. And then Scarlet Witch just kills him like that. They were no match. Like Black Bolt got blown up, he covered his mouth and his head got blown up. And then, so the two main ones that we've never seen before and we wanted, right? Mr. Fantastic and Black Bolt, straight away they died. There was no challenge from them at all. And then Captain Carter and Captain Marvel, they put up a good fight and whatnot. But I mean, I think is because we saw the different variants of Strange and they were all like Benedict Cumberbatch is a variant or whatnot. I think that's telling us that a Professor X does exist on our Earth, a Mr. Fantastic does exist on our Earth, but we just haven't discovered it. That's what I'm taking away from it. Because that was a different world, that was a different universe. I feel like that's showing that, hey, these guys exist. So this will be your Mr. Fantastic, this will be your Black Bolt, this will be your Professor X, but we haven't discovered them on our Earth. Well, our Earth is what, 616, I think it is, or
616, yeah.
So that's how I feel that they've kind of planned it, but again, I don't know. I mean, like it's definitely, I thought the same thing as you, that this will open it up and they'll come in, but it didn't really leave a clear opening for them to come in.
Yeah.
But I did think, like, again, even Professor X, he got killed just like that. I mean, he was awesome. I mean, that little when they were explaining to Strange about killing Thanos and whatnot, and they had that little moment, that was an awesome scene. And then Black Bolt kind of killed off that Strange because that Strange kind of went overboard with the Dark. What's it called? The Dark Book? Is that what it's called again?
Yeah, the Darkhold.
Darkhold, yeah. So that Strange obviously has gone bad with the Darkhold as well. So that scene was awesome. I was still interested that Thanos was the big bad because I would figure it's another multiverse. Imagine it was like, Galactus was the big bad or something. But Thanos was still the big bad. I feel like if they wanted to get another oh shit moment, that scene, they could have had like a background full of different Marvel characters, you know what I mean? Like,
that would have been good.
That was their end game moment, right? That scene there. So instead of just them, imagine they had like all of them there, all the mutants or Wolverines or whatever, just there, and Thanos. That would have been a crazy scene. But they didn't have that. Or I was thinking like, if the Illuminati is the whole is the oh shit of this movie, and I keep calling it oh shit, but what if they came at the end just to have a big battle with Scarlet Witch? But really, like they were in and out within 15 minutes, which wasn't disappointing because I still loved it, but it was a shocker. It was a shocker to what we expected, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean that was my only critic, man. If I was gonna say anything negative about the movie, is like you shouldn't have spoiled that in the movie, in the trailers, if that was the big thing. But I do think that was awesome. I mean, Captain Carter threw in a little I could do this all day, just like Steve Rogers type.
That was good.
That was awesome. That kind of gave me goosebumps and whatnot. And then Professor X, when he went into Wanda's mind, if you notice that when there was a wobble when she was underneath, there was a black and white TV with the show WandaVision, which I feel like was Wanda's reality that she's trying to create and whatnot, which is awesome. But
that was one of my favorite scenes actually, because it pulled everything together. It was like Professor X, he gets into your mind, and then the other Wanda, like I think it was 838, she was stuck under there trapped, and then you had our Wanda coming in and in that red smoke, and
she was scary, bro. She was scary, man. She broke his neck easy, man. How many times have we seen Professor X die in our lifetime? We've seen him die so many times. And they killed him off again. Few, right? And they killed him off again. Look, that was, I think that was such a great scene. It was awesome. It was just a shock that they just in and out very quick and then killed him off and whatnot very easily. But I think what they try, I mean, I guess I'm taking away is like, okay, we killed them off, but here's the introduction to them. We're gonna get them back. Like, don't worry, guys. They'll be back.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Because I mean, but Marvel was freaking brave to put Mr. Fantastic in there, who we've been waiting for so long, and then kill him off within a couple of minutes. That's so freaking brave, man. But I think it was a taster. It's like, hey, this is what your Fantastic Four is gonna look like, and we'll be back with him. So that was interesting, man. What other notes I got here? I got Dark Strange. So obviously he went back to see he went to that alternative universe where Dark Strange was there, and that reality was kind of falling apart and whatnot. I thought that was interesting. I mean, because that Dark Strange was kind of like the one from What If, like he was obviously in love with Christine and everything. But that was interesting that because what he said was, remember they were talking and he said that he was fighting against someone and he lost. So they didn't explain who he was fighting against, but I wonder if he was just fighting against the reality of him losing Christine. I don't know, like if he was fighting a big bad, or is it just him losing the reality of fighting against Christine, which is why he's just in this depressive state sort of thing.
Yeah, I thought that scene was like really good because they started battling with the musical notes. I thought that was
interesting was that? Yeah. That was definitely interesting. Yeah. Nothing that I would expect. But again, this is like Sorcerer Supreme. This is the multiverse. Like you have to keep your mind as creatively open as possible, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was really cool because, and then the music, the background music was like matching it. And like they were just like throwing notes and
definitely.
At each other.
Sam Raimi's definitely got that creative like mastermind behind that sort of stuff, like putting that sort of stuff together and whatnot. And what I love about Sam Raimi, he does have that scariness to it, like the zombies, the witches, the demons and whatnot, and he has some laughs behind it as well. Like Bruce Campbell always makes a cameo, and when he was paying for the food when they were in that universe and she took the food and he made him beat himself up. So that was quite hilarious, man. He always makes a cameo in his movies, man. But that musical, the musical battle was an interesting battle. It was like a peaceful battle, if that makes sense. Not peaceful, but isn't like they weren't too destructive. They were just fighting with music, if that kind of in some weird way and whatnot, which I thought was kind of awesome. But yeah, that was awesome. What else? American Chavez. So American Chavez, like even though she was a big part of the movie and whatnot, and they didn't talk much about her, but obviously I think she's going to come back as like maybe the young Avengers and whatnot. I think we'll get more of a story in the future. I mean, Marvel always played the long game, so that's something to look forward to in the future. But one thing, like Doctor Strange saw in her from the beginning is that she made all the right choices, right? No matter where even though she said she couldn't control her power, like it took them to the right places where they needed to be. And I think Strange knows this because like maybe his vision he saw with Thanos, you know, he saw the 14 million visions and he knew everything had to take place because it gets you to that one spot. And I think he maybe because of that experience, he saw that Chavez like was taking him to the right spot, and he knew that this would have to be the way for them to get there, even though she didn't know what she was doing, basically. What did you think of her character in general anyway?
I thought that they did it really well because I didn't really know about her until this movie, but then all the YouTube stuff I've been watching, it's like, yeah, she can physically move to the multiverse through the multiverses, and the way that they introduced like from the start was like a James Bond moment. You're in the middle of the action and all the way through, like you didn't feel like she had to build up a character because you're like, okay, she's in trouble and Strange is trying to help her. So I thought they kept it really simple, but it was just really effective because she's just trying to live. Like she doesn't want to die. Strange is trying to help her. So yeah, I quite like her character. It was quite good.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, like you know, there's no need for character building now because I think that's going to come. And they did a bit of character building in the middle of it. But it's interesting to I would love to know how long she's been chased for. Like how long after WandaVision did it start? You know what I mean? Because Scarlet Witch or Wanda was sending out monsters and saying that this is me being reasonable, sending out monsters because she could have went and got her any time really by herself. But I think there was a little bit inside of her that maybe she wanted, like, I don't know, her Earth, like Strange, to kind of see that she's right. Maybe she needed some sort of validation of what she's doing is fine before she went out. And I think once she realized that her Earth and the Avengers and Strange were not going to approve what she's doing, then she decided, right, well, I was being reasonable now I'm going to go out and get her. But it'll be interesting to see how long that she has been chased. But yeah, I agree. Like it was great to just kind of fall into a story of like this girl is being chased because of her powers that she doesn't truly understand, and doesn't understand why she wants to take her powers and whatnot until throughout the movie. But I think we'll get more. Definitely, we're going to get more of her. And then, you know, her parents were obviously like were taken away in a different dimension or a universe that she doesn't know. They're probably out there somewhere. But it's interesting how she joins the Comitage after, because she gets that guidance on possibly using her powers. And I think this is just the beginning of the multiverse. You know, like, again, they're playing the long game. So we got snippets in Loki, we got obviously Spider-Man, and this is just another multiverse movie. This is not the full MCU multiverse story. So this is just a story of it. So I think we're going to see a lot more of the multiverse story as it goes through. I just feel like, I think the expectations maybe in my head was like, this is the one, man. We're going to see everything in this, but it's not.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I thought, like, after Loki, after Spider-Man, I thought, yeah, this is where all the multiverses are going to converge. But it's like they're just still leaving it open to whatever movies, however they're going to do things later on. I mean, even I think probably like in Black Panther 2, we'll probably see something there as well, multiverse related. Because even in in Moon Knight, like they mentioned the ancestral plane in Moon Knight in episode 5. So it's all, I think it's going to come together. It's going to converge later on. I don't know when. I mean, we'll probably have to see more of Phase 4 to see what happens. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, again, Marvel play the long game, man. So whether, you know, Thor comes out later on and we don't get nothing about multiverse, in the next something, we'll see something about multiverse. You know what I mean? Like they'll throw it in like little bit by little bit. I mean, look, the rumors of this movie, bro, I was going in with the expectation, like I said, of seeing Tom Cruise as Iron Man, maybe seeing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, maybe seing Deadpool, all of them. I don't know why, like it was the rumors, man. I bought into it so much, and maybe Marvel did that as a way of like distracting you on what the story could actually be like and whatnot. But I went in thinking that this is the one, man. They're going to show everyone. They're going to use all the Fox characters, like the Marvel X-Men characters and all that sort of stuff. But it was definitely not that. And I'm not disappointed, but I think it was my own fault. My expectations were too high based on rumors. I should never believe the rumors. So I think Marvel was just saying to you guys, like, don't believe the rumors. Like, we still know what's going on in the movie, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I thought, I was just thinking this before I jumped on, was that the trailers and everything they had like too many trailers of key moments. like like the Bella montage. I thought with Captain Carter, I thought they made that really obvious in one of the trailers, but then they actually had her shield in one of the posters. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
They definitely gave away too much. I feel like they gave away too much, man. I mean, Marvel are really good at keeping secrets, and I just feel like they did. You're right. A lot of the key moments were in the trailers and stuff like that, which didn't. I don't know. It's an interesting take that they take. I mean, like, it doesn't take anything away from the movie, but it's still amazing.
Well, yeah. Well, that was the thing, right? When after the movie, I thought, well, it didn't really take. I didn't think it took away from it because there was just so much that maybe if they didn't have those key moments in the trailer, like you wouldn't be able to put it together. I don't know. It just, at least I had some sort of idea of what was gonna go on in the movie, because like 2 hours for what they did, man, it was like over in a flash. So.
Yeah, it was nonstop. And it, like, it started from the chase all the way to the very end and whatnot. We do got 9 minutes left because Zoom has started this new rule, but you can only do 40 minutes at a time. Otherwise, it's not unlimited anymore, which is a shame. But I do think there were some interesting things, though, when they were talking about the dreams they had. That's like different realities or whatnot. So Wanda, her kids are actually real. Like, even though she created them in our universe, but she created them out of dreams, which means that they were real in different universe. So that's kind of awesome. Like, it wasn't. Her kids are real, and I think she knows that they are real. Maybe in our universe, she created them, but she knows in her heart that they're real and they're out there and whatnot. So I thought that was an interesting element, that the dreams that people have are different multiverses and whatnot.
Yeah.
What else we got here, man? Multiverse can be told in 1 minute. And then in the last part, I guess getting right to the end, I think with Scarlet Witch, because she obviously was the big bad in this movie, but she's our hero, right? She's the hero in our universe, right? But so I think at the end they kind of justified her in the sense that she broke it down. She broke down the fortress thing that she was in. I can't remember what it was called. Do you remember what it was called?
Yeah, the one. Oh god, one something. Yeah,
and then and then she destroyed all the dark. What I keep
the Darkhold magic. The runes
in all the whole multiverses. So she actually done the right thing at the end, and I think that kind of justifies that she's still our hero. But I think she was just, the dark runes just got her, it corrupted her, right? Which it does to everyone, sort of thing. So I feel like it kind of preserved her good, because she is our hero, man. She's just gone through so much trauma. So I thought that was good, because I'm like, you can't, like, it was crazy that she was the big villain throughout the whole movie, and if you was to just kill her off, like, I don't think she's dead, to be honest. She has to be alive. I don't think she's dead.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, well, is that it? It can't be, like, she just had rocks fall on her. Like, what else is going to happen next? Because I thought it was just too abrupt an ending.
Definitely. I think, she's come to a, like, it would be good to see what they do, because they can't kill her off, basically. But at least, they kind of like, just kind of, at least they kind of finished it off with, like, all right, she's still got good in her, because she knew once she saw her kids in pain, and that's what she thought she was trying to, that's what she never wanted to do, but she had to see her reality, that what she is doing is actually harming her kids. She done the right thing and whatnot. So that was awesome. And then it finishes off with a little scene with Doctor Strange. Obviously, he dabbled with that, right? And then he gets the third eye, which is, it just opens up more things for him, right? And his abilities and stuff.
Because I wasn't sure. So I'm jumping to the post-credit scene, or the mid-credit scene. But like, I thought, does that mean he was gonna, like, turn evil or whatever? And then the post-credit scene came on, and it was like, oh no, he's still in control. It's still him. He's learned to live with it or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're gonna see. I don't know when we're gonna see it, because it's like, this is not nothing setting up to an Avengers movie. It feels like it's just, this phase is like more individuals and stories and whatnot. It feels like it's heading in that direction. I don't see no connection to a big movie, because Kang the Conqueror is obviously the big villain in this whole saga that we're doing now, but there's been minimal connections to him and more of individual sort of stories. But yeah, I mean, look, the big spoiler at the end is, what's the name? Celia comes in, right? And that's his, what I found interesting about that, because he, at the end of that movie, it started off with him lying, saying that he was happy, but obviously he was still in love with Christine. So he wasn't really happy with life. And he admits that right at the end. And he kind of like, that Christine from the other universe tells him, you know, face your fears, get into a relationship, because he was too scared of getting into a relationship. And then Celia comes in, and that's going to be his new, because in the comics, he has a relationship with her. So maybe it just opens up to him and her having a relationship, as well as bringing her into the MCU and whatnot. And she's related to Dormammu and whatnot. I think she's, I don't know, Dormammu's her uncle or some shit.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
they were going into the dark dimension.
Yeah. So that also kind of brings back Dormammu, right? Maybe he's gonna come back. I mean, that what we got with him in the first one, you know, there's definitely more to show of Dormammu, right? So maybe that opens up more with Dormammu in the future. But yeah, no, I mean, interesting. I mean, like, what's her name? What's her name? Charlize Theron, who plays her. What's the actress's name? I think that's her name or something. But yeah, I mean, it opens more things up for him, man.
Yeah, it does. And the other thing as well was it reminded me of Tony Stark and Spider-Man towards it just before that, where America Chavez and Doctor Strange, it was like that they had that master and apprentice, that father-daughter type relationship. So
yeah, that's a good point. I mean, because everyone has their own, it's almost like they're all having their own sort of like a apprentice sort of thing. Like Hawkeye, we saw he had Kate Bishop. Like you said, Tony Stark had Peter Parker, and now it looks like Strange has got America Chavez. Yeah, I mean, it's setting up, like I said, the Young Avengers, and I mean, it's freaking awesome. The story just keeps growing and growing.
Yeah.
I was thinking though, like, because of what happened to Wanda, and no one checked up on her, and this is just my theory, no one checked up to her after all the shit she went through, like losing her brother, Vision, all that sort of stuff. No one checked up on it. Does this put pressure on someone like Sam, like, because he's a new Cap, right? Does it put pressure on him to be like, because one of our good guys, man, the most powerful good guy that we have, or good girl, should I say, superhero that we have, turned into one of the big bads, and she killed a lot of people. I mean, it was freaking violent, and this movie was violent. Like, does it put pressure on someone like Sam, who's a new Cap, to be like, listen, you need to look out for the team? Because Steve Rogers, he was very protective over her, if you remember, in Civil War and whatnot. Like,
yeah.
So I'm having just different theories, man. What happens with her? Like, they left this girl to it to become this big villain of this movie, and she could have possibly destroyed like multiverses and whatnot. Does this put pressure on someone like Sam, who's a new Captain America, to look out for the team or something, man? I don't know. This is just my theories.
Or the Winter Soldier, because he went through the same thing when he had his redemption. So
and so I mean,
that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, they might have no connection at all. It might be done, but I just think about it. I mean, because even Hawkeye in Avengers: Age of Ultron, he kind of motivated Scarlet Witch, and they kind of had that moment and whatnot. And even at the end of Endgames, when they were both standing next to each other, there was almost like a mentorship there, but that was it. Like, he was not there for her after she left and whatnot. So I wonder if it's like, because it's still like, I mean, like, they're a team, right? So it's like, how come you guys never ever looked out for her? She's the most powerful character. She lost everyone in her life, and now she turned into a villain because nobody was there for her. So I don't know. I wonder if something happens in the future, they find her, and there's more of a looking after her type sort of feel.
Yeah. Well, the other thing was, because I remember in the comics and the cartoon, she was with the X-Men, or she was one of the mutants. So I wonder if that's something that they're going to tie her to that part of the MCU.
I wonder. I mean, at the end of that movie, when Celia came, she said there's another incursion happening into a universe, right? Which means that a universe is going to mess up or whatnot. Maybe that's a way where that universe is going to mess up and it's full of the mutants or something. So they bring them into our Earth or something like that. Maybe that could be a way to tie them in or something. I don't know. But I mean, there's so much story to tell, man. And I think, we're expecting so much, but it's like, we got to be patient as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, they planned out the next 10 years, right? So.
God, so much to do. But anyway, brother, look, I've got 1 minute
All right,
left
bro.
before this thing stops. But let me quickly, but yeah, I appreciate your time on it and whatnot, and talking about it. I appreciate geeking out because I needed someone to speak to. I was speaking to the missus, but it was good to kind of geek out with a bro about what it is. But bro, thanks again, man. I'm gonna catch this again tomorrow, so I'm sure we're gonna have more theories, and maybe we could talk about it again on another time.
Yeah, for sure. I'll watch it again too next week.
All right, brother. Well, thanks a lot, man. Let me just stop this real quick.